Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is officially May 20th. Donald Trump has been in office for, I believe, 4 months now, if I have that correctly, because he was sworn in on January 20th. He has gotten a lot done, and a lot of things have come out, and not about Donald Trump necessarily, mostly about good old Joey. And it is a remarkable thing that we have witnessed, not just from the past 4 years, but now going on even 4 months into Donald Trump's presidency with good old Joey, because as you all heard the breaking news, not just over the weekend, but also yesterday, Joey has cancer. And there is basically no way that he did not have this cancer that went undetected while he was president, meaning another cover-up. And what you have going around all of politics and all the mainstream media is, this is shocking, unbelievable. How could he not know? This is crazy. Did they hide it? Where's the transparency? I'm not shocked. The guy said he had cancer on live TV when he was talking about the oil slicks on his windshield. I mean, the guy has blurted out things in the past. We just thought he was all deranged. I mean, he is. He's senile. He don't know what's going on. He hasn't for quite some time. But they're all shocked. And what's even more remarkable than that, I know you're like, Brad, how could that be? How could there be something more remarkable than Joe Biden and the Democrat Party in complete shock and disbelief over his behavior? Well, the part that is remarkable is when you talk to Democrats right now, I live in the state of California, so they're everywhere. Oh, they're everywhere. They're like a Starbucks. They're on every corner, both metaphorically and quite literally, because there's homeless on every corner here in the state of California. When you talk with them, they totally expect you as an independent, conservative, Republican, anything other than on the left-hand side of the aisle. They expect you to take their words seriously after they just got done not just voting for Joey once. They were going to vote for him twice. They nominated him, if you remember. But they were also going to vote for Kamala Harris, who helped cover up all this stuff. And they expect us, this is the remarkable part, they expect us to take them seriously in anything that they say. Okay. All right. Sure we will. I don't think so, psychos. Freaking crazies. You voted for Joey. All right. Not just once, but multiple times you would have voted for him. Give me a break. Give me a break. We ain't listened to anything you say for a long time. Remember the saying, follow the science. Follow the science. You must. Good morning, Patriots. Good to see you. All right, here we go. Well, Trump was surprised Biden's cancer wasn't announced earlier. That test is standard. Correct. Trump took the test. Now, look, we all know why they didn't announce it earlier. Because not only, again, I keep saying this, it's like a compounding factor. Not only did they know that his brain wasn't working, but now to come out and be like, you voted for me when I had cancer, you suckers. You suckers and losers. Remember when Trump said that? Remember when Trump said the military was suckers and losers? Well, who's the suckers and losers now? You are. Gotcha, pal. I'm Corn Pop. By the way, I got to say, at 6 a.m, that was a pretty damn good Biden impression. You got to give me a like on that one. If that doesn't deserve a thumbs up already at the onset of the show, I don't know what will. I really don't know what will. I'm impressed with myself. You got to give yourself what credit's due every once in a while. We don't do it much here on the show, but Brad, nice job, buddy. All righty. Well, President Donald Trump expressed sympathy for his predecessor's cancer diagnosis and surprised that the diagnosis was so recently revealed. Former President Joe Biden's office announced Sunday that Biden has an aggressive form of prostate cancer, which we've all found out about. The statement said that Biden received that diagnosis on a Friday. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that was an update in his diagnosis on Friday. I think they knew a long time ago. Let's start bringing in his medical person. Let's bring them in. I got questions, as do all the patriots in the chat. I think it's very sad, actually. I'm surprised that the public wasn't notified a long time ago, because to get to stage 9, that's a long time. Reporters on Monday afternoon. So rather than understanding that Donald Trump was giving his sympathies and everything like that, you see where I highlighted this? Stage 9. I read through comments on not just the TikTok videos that were posted, but the YouTube videos when I was doing my show prep. You know what the Democrats are going? Oh, what an idiot. He doesn't even know that there's not even 9 stages of cancer. Because I'm telling we're going to use this word many times. It is remarkable that these people can't read between the lines that they were talking about his score. They can't understand that both stage and score start with an S, and that's what he meant. Because they take everything that he says so literal. It is mind-bending to me. And again, you're supposed to take all these Democrats seriously when they talk. You're supposed to put on your thinking ears. They don't have to. Oh, by the way, they don't have to. Yeah, they don't have to believe anything that you say because you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a psycho. You're crazy, right? You're an existential threat. You're a threat to democracy. You're a threat to the republic, folks, to the Constitution. I mean, the guy that has cancer, that's brain isn't working, that fell up a flight of stairs multiple times, hit a golf ball backwards, looks for 10 people in the crowd, talks to dead people. Joey talks to dead people. Yeah, you're supposed to listen to all those people. Gotcha. Okay, no, that's great. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. My, you know what? I'm going to listen to them. Biden's cancer is stage 4. By the way, I have an eyelash in my eye, and it's driving me up a wall. Can one of you guys get it for me? Where is it? Is it over here? Drive me crazy. I got long eyelashes. Ladies, you only wish you had these. Biden's cancer, stage 4. But he received a Gleason score of 9. Grade group 5. A Gleason score is a metric for grading prostate cancer. High scores, such as a 9 or 10, suggest a much more aggressive, faster spreading form of cancer. I just had my physical. You saw that. You saw the results of that particular test. I think that test is standard to pretty much anybody getting a physical. Good physical, said Trump. Trump added the physical included cognitive tests and said anybody running for president should, take a cognitive test. Biden's office said its Sunday statement that the former president's prostate cancer is metastasized to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows effective management. The statement said the president and his family are reviewing options with his physicians. Yeah, well, remember the most transparent presidency in American history. Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable, and it is remarkable. And anytime you guys talk to a Democrat and they try to say anything bad about Donald Trump, all I want you to do is ask, who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for in 2020? You vote for Joey? Did you vote for Joe? And just start laughing. Watch them melt. Watch them. They start triggering. It's almost like they start shape-shifting and turning transgender. Just January 6th. That's all they do. That is all they do. Every single time. The difference is that most Republicans didn't participate in January 6th, you idiots. Not you patriots. Of course, I've never talked to you like that. I'm talking to the Democrats. You guys go take a coffee break real quick. We got a conversation to have with Democrats. Everybody go to the potty. Take a potty break. Go get your coffee, get your tea. Some of you splash of Bailey, some whiskey. I know some of you drink in the morning. Take a little breaky break. George with the 7 months. Thank you, man. The guy's a longtime supporter, big smart ass, but we love him here. George, you're kind of like that child at the dinner table. We love you. God bless you. Thank you so much, sir, for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Always a big supporter. We love George here. Now, Democrats, come on and listen closely. Listen closely. See, we as a collective of the Republican Party, conservatives, independents, all that stuff. Yeah, see, we didn't think it was a good thing, and we didn't actually participate in that. The difference is, and I want you to put on your thinking ears because this is where it really comes together. So thinking, put on your ears, listening ears, thinking caps. Come on. Okay. You as a collective, see how this works? Collective, all of you voted for Joey, a guy who, again, fell up a flight of stairs numerous times, wandered off many of times, even to the point where he had to be designated a Secret Service member to point and guide him to the right direction. He had to be herded off the stage like he's cattle. The guy didn't know where he was. And it wasn't just Secret Service members. It was also the G7 leaders around the world were babysitting Joe Biden, babysitting him, chauffeuring. Oh, Joey, no, over here, buddy. Yep, we're not going to look at the plane anymore. We got pictures to take. The guy was talking to dead people, and you voted for him. The guy was having full-on conversations. And it wasn't just like he was hearing voices, right? Which now makes more sense than ever if he has really bad cancer. The guy is really stepping into the spiritual realm. He was seeing dead people. He was seeing people in crowds and looking for them. Where is she? Stacy, are you here? No, Mr. President, she died a long time ago. So did that leader 40 years ago, for that matter. He's gone. He's in a crypt. Or maybe you should be. I don't know. God. See, so they took time to vote for Joey. I didn't take time to storm the Capitol. No, they voted him. So throw that in their face every single time. So Jill Biden's former press secretary goes scorched earth on ex-employer, allergic to transparency. She's just as bad as Joe. The whole family's corrupt, man. That's why we did family corruption. And I want to call it, again, another pat on the back, especially for the Patriots. You are always, at this point, you guys, I would say in some cases, we've released news here. 2 years, 3, sometimes 4 years, you're ahead of the news cycle. There are actually thumbnails of me, 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago at this point, saying this is the greatest cover-up in American history. How many times have we said that? That Joe Biden is the biggest cover-up in U.S. history, in American history, what you're witnessing. How many times have we said that phrase over the last 3 years? And now the media is just catching on to it. Oh, huge cover-up. Yeah, how about his brain, too?
Only knew how hard it was. I mean, this was a group in the White House who were allergic to transparency. And I go back to and I'm just talking about like just in the East Wing. I mean, the very first day walking into the White House, the usher was fired and I couldn't get reporters straight answers because nobody would give me straight answers. If you only knew how hard it was. I mean, this was a group in the White House who were allergic to transparency. And I go back to and I'm just talking.
I just had to hear it again. Because, remember, on day one of the Biden presidency, we're going to be the most shit-pooping, transparent administration ever. No, you did great, Joe. You did real good, buddy. You drove this country right into the ground. It's unbelievable. I mean, can we just go through a few things here? Remember how the media thought this was normal? That the first lady was holding a cabinet meeting?
She talked about the fact that sometimes the White House, in her words, surprises you. And for somebody who has worked on women's health issues for her whole career,
she worked on health issues. Oh.
The first lady, she said one of the things that struck her the most was the inequities in medical research, funding for medical research for women. So this is an important priority of hers that she had the opportunity to at this cabinet meeting to spotlight. And
I love how, again, they just think it's completely normal for the first lady to hold a cabinet meeting on behalf of the president. That is insane. That is bonkers. Folks, that is like you being a partner for a law firm or an accounting firm, and that you were going to have a partner meeting and that you were the one that was going to hold it. And then your wife comes in, and instead of you being there at all, she is just sitting there for you, taking questions and answers and running the show and running the meeting. Doesn't know anything about law, doesn't know anything about accounting, doesn't know anything about running the country. I'm a doctor. Okay, sure you are. I have a master's in teaching education. Doesn't mean shit, by the way. Doesn't mean anything. Easiest degree of my life. Easiest degree of my life. You got a doctorate in education. Not hard. It's not hard, trust me. Anybody could do it here in the chat. You could do it with blindfolded. She doesn't know anything. Doesn't know absolutely anything. And here's Kayleigh McEnany talking about this, that it's a real crime, that basically they covered up Biden's mental acuity, but also his cancer too.
Listen closely. Here is the real crime of the entire Biden mental acuity cover-up. An excerpt from Alex Thompson's book, out tomorrow, reveals that Biden's acuity was in question, listen to this, as far back as 2020. Check this out. This is from the campaign trail that year. Biden would sit in a room with several monitors beaming the face of real Americans in front of him. The videos came back, hours of footage. Some on the team could not believe their eyes. Quote, the videos were horrible. One top Democrat said he couldn't follow the conversation at all. Quote, I couldn't believe it, said a second Democrat. It was like a different person. It was like watching grandpa who should not be driving. So grandpa should not be driving. But campaign staffers, these are soon-to-be White House officials, told us in 2020 that then candidate Joe Biden was perfectly fit to be commander-in-chief of our armed forces. Well, what happened between 2020 and 2024? The cartels decided it was time to invade the southern border. Putin decided it was time to invade Ukraine. Hamas terrorists decided it was time to invade Israel. And then there was the fall of Afghanistan. We lost 13 American heroes at the Abbey Gate. And America's top general said that they warned Biden, do not withdraw from Afghanistan.
I recommended that we maintain 2,500 troops in Afghanistan. And I also recommended earlier in the fall of 2020 that we maintain 4,500 at that time. I also have a view that the withdrawal of those forces would lead inevitably to the collapse of the Afghan military forces and eventually the Afghan government.
General Milley, I assume you agree with that in terms of the recommendation of 2,500?
What I said in my opening statement and
what I said in my opening statement is I need another drink. Oh, I bet you do, you freaking psychos. You covered up his cognitive decline. And boy, was it sharp. Oh, it was sharp. Well, so it's not just the media that covered this up. It wasn't just Jill Biden that covered it up. No. There's another family member. Another family member of Joey. Naomi Biden is in the news. I don't remember hearing of this woman before, but we don't hear a lot of Biden's family. Trashes book on her grandfather's cognitive decline. Uninspired lies. Yes, here we go. This is no different than the clip that we saw yesterday where Jill Biden was on The View and was saying how great of a job Joey was doing and that he was working 24/7. We all saw that yesterday. Remarkable statement. And again, you're going to hear that word a lot today. Remarkable. Oh, he was working really hard 24/7. We couldn't stop the guy. Oh, yeah, he was pooting around the White House and we couldn't even catch up to him. I know. He was just, boom. He's just like a firing piston. He would just go. You're like, can you believe the work that Joey's doing? Completely gaslighting the American people. If I was a Democrat, which I would never be. God, can you imagine? I have a brain. But if I was a Democrat, let's just step into a horror film really quick. I would really question as to why the former First Lady was trying to lie to me and pretend that what I lived through the last 4 years wasn't really happening. Basically treating me as if I was stupid. Would anybody think that way? Well, I guess not. Guess not. So Naomi Biden lashed out on forthcoming book from CNN anchor Jake Tapper and Axios reporter Alex Thompson, which is getting a lot of publicity right now, these two people for the book, which explores the extent of her grandfather's obvious cognitive and physical decline while in the White House and claimed it amounted to little more than uninspired lies. Jeez. All this stuff never happened. His cognitive decline, he's still sharp as tack. Yeah, oh yeah. Naomi, whose father is Biden's embattled son, Hunter Biden, responded to a post on X that claimed Tapper and Thompson were publishing the book in an effort to make themselves the center of attention and that they would be better served to focus on President Donald Trump and his daily assaults on our Constitution. Tell me this doesn't look like a lady that would end up just, slowly putting rat poison in your oatmeal. Everybody's seen this look before. Oh, I'll kill you. I'll get you. I mean, this is not far off from Beavis and Butthead. You know what I'm talking about. That's for the older folks. Younger folks, you might not know who Beavis and Butthead is, but with that chin. It's inspired lies. Sure it is. Sure it is. Just read a copy of this silly book, and if anyone is curious for a review from someone who lived it firsthand, this book is politically fairy smut for the permanent professional chattering class, Naomi Biden wrote in response? The ones who rarely enter the arena but profit from the spectacle of those that do. Put simply, it amounts to a bunch of unoriginal, uninspired lies written by wow. Hello, Brad. Wait, folks, give me a break. It's 6:20 in the morning. Okay, calm down over there. Put simply, it amounts to a bunch of unoriginal, uninspired lies written by irresponsible, self-promoting journalists out to make a quick buck. It relies on unnamed, anonymous sources. Well, I thought we could do that. She's shocked that Jake Tapper and the Axios reporter, Alex Thompson, she's shocked that they're going to use unnamed, anonymous sources, which is all they used during Donald Trump's first administration? Really? Not to mention Joe Biden used these as well? Come on. Pushing a self-serving false narrative that absorbs them of any responsibility for our current national nightmare. All of this at the expense of a man so completely good and honest that it is impossible for these people to ever understand the why or how of it all. There are real stories to be told, and one day they will be. I suspect history will reward the truth. Oh boy, this is going to age real well. Oh, it's going to age real well when more stuff comes out about Joey. How he was wiping his tushy on the White House carpet just to get that extra unk out of his tushy. Like a dog. He's rubbing his booty on the carpet just... There you go. Booty! It's a booty! That's why you come here, folks. That's why you come here, right? Look, we have a good time, all right? We have a good time here. Not only are we having a good time, but we also have the best community. We'd love for you to join us. If you're new here, we'll hit that follow button. We do this each and every morning, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're not going anywhere, by the way. We got a lot of news still to cover. A lot of news. We're only 20 minutes in. We got 40 to go. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Wow. You saw Jill Biden on The View yesterday spewing a bunch of nonsense. Typical. I mean, if you're going to spew a bunch of nonsense, I suppose the show to do it on is The View, since they already spew a bunch of nonsense. Well, The View came out and they want politics out of Biden's cancer diagnosis, unless they can blame Trump. Oh, you know this is going to be good. We're going to take some time with this one. Look at these intellectuals. Oh, these savants. The peak of society, the peak of human breeding and evolution. The host of ABC's The View complained during Monday's broadcast about former President Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis and people who might bring politics into it. Immediately after which they injected their own politics by trying to make it about President Donald Trump. Now, they don't do their own makeup. They have somebody else do their own makeup, because if they had to do their own makeup, they would have to look into the mirror. Whoopi Goldberg started by ball rolling, reacting on the show to the news that Biden, who had just appeared on the show a little over a week earlier, had been diagnosed with an advanced and aggressive form of prostate cancer that had metastasized to his bones. Goldberg laughed off claims that there was any cover-up regarding Biden's health or cognitive fitness. They're deranged. I mean, they are utterly deranged. So here's Goldberg. I know. Brad, please don't play it. I'll donate money. Just please don't play The View in the morning. I was having a good day. I'll give you all the money in my wallet. Please don't do it. Others are going, I have nothing. I have nothing to give. Don't torture me with this, please. So you had that little gem of a clip, right? Well, not soon far after, Sunny Hostin makes Biden's cancer diagnosis about Trump. Oh, can we just not talk about the politics of this all? Can we just let it? Can we just let it marinate for a bit? Can we just let the guy solve the problem?
Cancer funding research by Thursday. So
I got to go back. Just can we? I know I'm subjecting you to this, and indulge me for a second, folks. Indulge me. You're going to see something remarkable here. I know you heard it, and I know you caught it.
I think that the majority of U.S. family for the Bidens, I don't think this is a time for politics.
Right. All right. I don't think this is a time for politics. She said this at the 30-second mark. In the same sentence, she then transitions to politics about Donald Trump.
But what I will say is that this administration has cut.
3 seconds later, then she starts talking about politics. This is one part I wanted to totally mimic this. It's so true. Like, it's so obvious. Like, I'm so hot, aren't I? Look, she's hot. Freaking crazy, though. Crazy. God, man, it's just unbelievable. It really is unbelievable that they could come out and say these types of things. I got more. I got more here. So, Hostin then continues with this part about ignoring the cancer diagnosis. Here we go. Folks, he had nodules in 2008. If you're somebody that has nodules in 2008, it's not that you stop getting them checked or having a colonoscopy or whatever it may be, or getting your prostate checked. It's not that you stop doing that. By the way, they caught, I believe it was 2021, they caught precancerous. So then don't worry, Joe, we'll see you in 7 to 10 years, buddy. What? No, I don't think so. No, they knew. Oh, they knew.
And I feel like we need more answers on why it wasn't detected sooner.
I can maybe help you with that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I can maybe help you with that. Just talk to his doctor. Yeah, I'm going to talk to his doctor, the guy that lied straight to all our faces. The guy's healthier than an ox. Yeah, he's great. He's spunky. They call him Sparky around the White House. So then Goldberg claims there's no way Biden had cancer during his presidency and hid it from voters. Oh, really? So here she is. No, we're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. Oh, boy. What a weirdo. Why would you say that? What's wrong with her? It's how we feel, Whoopi, when you guys say something intelligent. And it doesn't have to be high IQ. It really doesn't. I mean, really, it's just a shredded ounce of truth. I'm telling you, people watch that every day and they get giddy about it. Like, ooh, they're like Joe Biden on the beaches of Delaware. They're like Joe Biden with an ice cream. They're like Joe Biden having an opportunity of sniffing that fresh new girl he's never smelt before. They get all giddy about it. God, it's a remarkable thing. Folks, she can't fathom, meaning Whoopi Goldberg cannot fathom that he would hide this from the American people. I want to point out, there is a possibility here where Joe Biden could be dealing with like elderly Parkinson's or an early form of Parkinson's, and that or let's just say any other disease, whatever, doesn't matter, any disease that he might be dealing with. And they're trying to treat that. But while they're trying to treat that, that could also hurt the treatment for his prostate cancer. And depending on the types of drugs and the balancing that you do, it could actually affect, when you're trying to battle two things, it could affect your cognitive functions. For example, let's say that your kidney and your heart are both kind of going out. Well, if you treat the kidney, the drugs that are treating the kidney to make the kidney better are going to affect the heart that's bad. Well, then you have to address the heart too. And they're both kind of important. So then while you're trying to address the heart as well, it affects the kidney. So it actually just makes both worse because you're trying to treat both. Well, you got to treat one or the other. You got to kind of pick or do it in moderation. Well, you got to explain. Patriots, another potty break. Sorry. Get another cup of coffee, folks, because I'm almost out myself. Somebody get me another cup of coffee, please. For the love of God, I need more. I need more 1775 coffee. Let me explain this to the Democrats because we all know this doesn't work correctly. Prostate cancer Parkinson's, or any other disease you want to fill it in with. This could affect this. Well, if you treat this at the same time, it could affect this. It's possible. It's totally possible. Here's the thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's what they're going to say. How do you know? You're not a doctor. No, but I have a brain. I have a brain. I want to thank all of you for sitting through that with me. Really, I'm looking at the chat. I want to thank all of you for going through that treatment, that torture with me as us watching The View. It's been a while. It has. But you know what? As much as it was torture, don't you guys just feel that much smarter? You weren't dumb. You weren't dumb. I want to make sure you know that. You're not. But it's really nice to see where you're at in terms of everybody else in the world, right? Sometimes you have to watch The View and you're just going to make yourself feel better. If you struggle with depression, just go watch The View and you're going to come out of it thinking, things aren't that bad. I could be like Joy Behar. I could be like Whoopi Goldberg and not have a damn clue what's going on in the ether. My brain could not be working. I could be like Joe Biden. Just watch an old Joe Biden speech. And you'll come out of it going, not that bad. Get over it. You got this, buddy. By the way, I'm not being satirical on depression. It's a real thing. I'm just trying to help people. That's all. Trying to help people. Well, let's get out of talking about Joe Biden's cognitive decline and his cancer that he hid from the American people. And let's get into Trump makes big announcement following very frank 2-hour call with Vladimir Putin. I have not read this yet. Well, you guys know how this rolls. I don't read most of the articles I select. I give you that real-time reaction, which I think is fair. And I kind of like that. I like giving you a real-time reaction because that's how you are all seeing it for the first time as well, for the most part. Unless you're cheaters and try to look at the news before I do the show. Cheaters. Some of you are like that, which is kind of funny. Like, Brad, I know about that story. No, you don't. I'm telling you for the first time. All right, well, after a 2-hour phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday, President Donald Trump announced that ceasefire negotiations between Russia and Ukraine would begin immediately. In a statement following the call, Trump says he believes the call went very well and that the tone and spirit of the conversation was excellent. Unless Vladimir's pulling something on Donald Trump, which I could believe could happen, but let's see. Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations towards a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war, which he emphasized there. The conditions for that will be negotiated between the two parties, as it can only be because they know details of a negotiation that nobody else would be aware of. Trump added that once the bloodbath ends, there will be opportunities for Russia to do large-scale trade with the United States and have tremendous opportunity for Russia to create massive amounts of jobs and wealth. Trump said he spoke with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, also a bunch of other people, the European Commission president, French president, Italian prime minister, German chancellor, a bunch of people, it looks like, after his call with Putin. So it sounds like he had a freaking really busy day. Trump said that the Vatican, as represented by Pope Leo, has stated that it would be very interested in hosting the negotiations. Wow, there you go. I did not know that, actually. That's news to me. After the call, Putin spoke to reporters on camera and described the call as very frank and very useful. The U.S. president expressed his position on the cessation of hostilities, ceasefire, and from my end, I have emphasized that Russia stands for peaceful resolution of the Ukrainian crisis. We just need to outline the most effective routes of moving towards peace. Ahead of the call, Russia launched a massive drone attack on Ukraine with exploding drones and decoys. 88 drones were reportedly intercepted and 128 were lost in the attack on Kiev. Trump has supported a ceasefire between the two sides. I think this is vital that we can get this done. Now, I appreciate Trump's efforts. I don't know if he really thought that he could get this done on the first day of office, but we're going on 4 months now and he hasn't got it done. And I think it's a fair critique to from Democrats say, well, he said he made a promise that he was going to get it day one and he didn't. I think that's a fair critique. Now, it doesn't bother me with that critique. I like that he's still trying. I'm sure it's not hard. I'm sure it is extremely hard to get something like this figured out, especially when You have a psycho like Vladimir Putin, but I think it's a fair critique from Democrats. But the thing is, they'll never say that about us when it comes to Joe Biden. There's no fair critique about his cognitive decline, the fact that he had cancer, he allowed millions of people poor in this country, terrorists, violent gang members, sex offenders, murderers, sex traffickers, drug traffickers, all that stuff. No, there's no fair critique that you could possibly make about Joe Biden. Yeah. Well, God, the guy's god awful. Can I just also point something out? And I know we moved on past Joe Biden's cognitive decline, but I do think there's something bigger here with that, is that all you do is just feed into the idea that we should not be trusting whoever's elected in the office. And by the way, I'm somebody that doesn't trust government at all, which is why I'm such an advocate of the Second Amendment. And I'm like an extreme Second Amendment advocate. Jesus. Advocate. By the way, I'm probably more extreme than a lot of you are. I think you should have a bazooka. I think you should have fully automatic firearms. If you have the money to buy an F-22 Raptor, I think you should be able to buy one. That's how extreme I am. Because I know if my government, the United States, has the most powerful military on planet Earth, was to ever go usurpacious on me, I would like a pretty damn good fighting chance. And it's going to be pretty tough to do that with the firearms that I'm being limited to utilize. Notice I said limited. Infringe. You can just swap those two words out. You're going to get to the same conclusion. I think it's a massive problem for our society that Joe Biden was willing to hide so many things from the American people. The government has always done that. I just think this is on a greater scale. A way greater scale. And I still want to know who is running the country under Joe Biden. I want names. I want people to go to prison. I am tired of sitting here for 4 months and not seeing anybody go to jail for anything. Who's gone to jail? You guys let me know. I'm still waiting. Again, Trump in my books. Trump, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, the whole brigade, everybody over there, Tom Homan, they have my deadline before I start ripping them a new one endlessly is January 20th, 2027. Just so you all know. And you know what? Let's make sure we put this in print here. I want this in print. I'm forewarning everybody in the chat. If I don't see anything change by 2 years, you're not going to like the show. 2 years, I want a lot of people prosecuted. I want people arrested. I want people going to prison for the money that they took from all of us. That was found through Doge. I want a lot of stuff happening. If it doesn't happen in 2 years, I'm going to be pissed. I don't want this shit. Oh, well, we're working hard. We're doing things right. I gave you 2 years. 2 years. That's generous. Speaking of Tom Homan, Border Patrol Union praises big, beautiful bill for border security investments. A union representing nearly 20,000 Border Patrol agents on Monday declared its support for President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, hailing the legislation as an investment in Americans' border security, which is something that was much, much needed. And by the way, something that Donald Trump was fighting for in his first term. I remember when Nancy Pelosi, trying to keep her dentures in and her face from melting off, goes, well, Donald, well, we don't have the money. I can do it for $3 billion, Nancy. I can build it for $3 billion. Give me that wall. I can do it. Well, Donald, we just don't have it in the budget. We don't have the money. But yet we're spending $30 billion. By the way, we spent probably close to $1 trillion under the 4 years of the Biden administration on illegal immigration. Just a heads up. The numbers are completely deflated. You're probably talking about $250 billion a year we spent on illegal immigration as a total. And you times that by 4, you get to $1 trillion. We don't have the money, though. Yeah, we don't have the money. Come on. We don't have the money. It makes sense why she didn't want to build a border wall, because she knew this was all part of the plan at the end of the day. The men and women of the National Border Patrol Council are proud to announce our support for the House One Big Beautiful bill. The group's president, Raul Perez, told the Daily Wire the legislation provides a once-in-a-generation investment in the border security of our great country and will make America safer. Well, Democrats don't want to do that. They want criminals to run free and roughshod over your entire localities and cities. The legislation not only modifies the tax code, but also provides funding that would allow Customs and Border Protection to expand its operations. This legislation provides for thousands of new patrol vehicles, the hiring of thousands of additional Border Patrol agents, and improves retention and recruitment by using incentives and protecting benefits, along with unprecedented investments in physical infrastructure, such as roads along our borders. The NBPC has no doubt this legislation will greatly help us to do our jobs more safely and effectively, which I'm happy for them to get all that money well spent. That is one of the main functions of government, especially the executive branch, is not only execute the laws in the books, but also protect the American citizens. Novak fan, God bless you with the $10 over at Rumble. Wow, we haven't had a donation in a while. Appreciate you. Oh, it's from George. George, you savage. Biden is bad, but at least he's not bald. That is correct. Freaking George over at Rumble. Not only did the guy update his membership for 7 months, but now he's giving $10 over at Rumble. He's doing it all. That's why we let George stick around. Little smart aleck. Little smart aleck. We appreciate you, George. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. We like George here. Not just because of his money, okay? He's flexing on us. But he's funny. He's actually funny. All righty. Funding for physical infrastructure, that's what we needed. The Republicans of the House Homeland Security say would support the construction of 701. Oh, thank you. Folks, doesn't this make you feel better? Isn't this making you feel better? 701 miles of primary wall, construction of 900 miles of river barriers, 600, I'm getting goosebumps. This is what I voted for. 629 miles of secondary barriers and replacement of 141 miles of vehicle and pedestrian barriers. The White House adds the funding will support at least 1 million annual removals of illegal aliens and the hiring of 10,000 new immigration and customs enforcement. I'll see about that. At least 1 million. You need to be up in that big time because Joey let in like 15 million. So we'll see what goes on with that. Tom Homan is, I'm going to say it again. Tom Homan just isn't doing what I expected him to be doing. I thought he was going to be doing a lot more than that. I got 2 clips for all of you, so don't go anywhere. We're not done yet, folks. If you could support us by hitting that like button, the thumbs up, it really does help us. I wouldn't ask you to do something if I didn't think it would support the show. What it does is it basically bypasses that human interaction and forces the algorithm to send our videos out to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. If you are curious what we do here, we're a conservative news show, put that in air quotes, where we give commentary, we have fun, and we engage with one another regarding the news that's out there. And we prepare you for your morning of what's actually going on in the world. And so when you head into your next podcast or you're working throughout the day and you're having conversations with people, you're able to see, okay, in a big scale, what's actually going on out there. So here is Bill. I'm not even going to bother. You guys do it to me every time. Melugan out here giving an exclusive where he says, we witnessed an incredibly rare sight in the sanctuary city of Los Angeles as Twin Towers jail transferred an illegal alien inmate to ICE custody, not because sanctuary policies have changed, but because the jail is being forced to cooperate with ICE as part of a new federal operation designed to neutralize California's sanctuary state laws. I love this because I live in California, and this is awesome.
In a Fox exclusive, you're watching an incredibly rare interaction as the jail in Los Angeles transfers an illegal alien to ICE custody. The sanctuary jurisdiction forced to hand this Mexican national over thanks to a first-of-its-kind federal operation.
With this operation, we're going to be neutralizing California's sanctuary state policies.
Bill Asaley is the U.S. Attorney in L.A. and the architect of Operation Guardian Angel.
California is the testing ground on this. We are one of the largest sanctuary jurisdictions.
All right, guys, thanks for circling up.
So how does it work? Asaley has created a federal task force made up of ICE, HSI, FBI, DEA, and ATF, all working together out of this office in downtown LA.
How's his criminal history?
He's got the domestic violence.
They scan these criminal databases daily to find illegal aliens in local jails who have been previously deported from the United States.
We have a warrant for your arrest.
If they've returned to the U.S., they've committed a federal felony known as illegal reentry. An assailee's office will immediately seek a criminal arrest warrant against them, which, unlike an ICE detainer, sanctuary jails can't ignore.
We're going to flood the system with warrants for criminal illegal immigrants that are in county jails. They can ignore a detainer, but they cannot ignore a criminal arrest warrant.
The federal task force brought us with them as they went to Twin Towers Jail in downtown LA to take custody of a previously deported alien they found in their database and filed a warrant on. He was facing local charges for robbery, but the sanctuary jail immediately handed him over to ICE, with California's sanctuary policies unable to protect him from the criminal warrant.
They have no choice. They will comply. And if they don't comply, if they interfere in our ability to arrest a federal felon, they can expect to face consequences.
And the task force tells us once they're up and running at full steam, they project they're going to be able to arrest between 40 and 50 aliens from local sanctuary jails here in SoCal every single week. Now, if this is successful here in Los Angeles, the task force says this could be used as a model to neutralize other sanctuary jurisdictions all across the country, guys. We'll send it back to you.
You bet.
Love that. Now, I would like that number bumped up a little bit. To be honest, I would like that number bumped up more than, I want more than 50. I want more like 5,000. I thought he was going to say 50 a day, which would have been awesome. But I want to add an extra couple zeros to the end of that number. Well, it wouldn't be a show without having Scott Jennings in it. So here is a clip with Scott Jennings talking about ICE facility in Newark, illegal immigration. And I love his reactions. He's single-handedly keeping CNN afloat. Here's the GOAT, the other gladiator. Let's do it.
They'll see the whole thing, and it'll be clear to me, and it'll be clear to her in court.
I mean, the videos are pretty clear, are they not? I mean, she's shoving, elbows, some punches. I mean, this is violent activity against law enforcement, is it not?
It's a lot of pushing and shoving. I don't know if...
Would a regular person, if they came and did that to a federal officer, get away with it?
A regular person?
Like a regular, just a non-politician?
They might get pardoned.
If they showed up at a federal facility.
They might get pardoned by this
president. But were they charged? Were they charged? Were they convicted in court? Would a regular person get away with it?
You brought up occupancy. And if these members of Congress...
But what does that have to do with a clear video of someone assaulting a police officer?
Scott? Was that clear? Wasn't
pretty clear.
There's nothing clear about it.
It's not a cheap fake, I can assure you of that.
Let me tell you something. If you took off your MAGA goggle glasses and looked at it...
It's not a cheap fake. The problem is they have a video of it. And it doesn't look great. And if the argument is, we're here to conduct legitimate oversight, is that what oversight looks like? Pushing and shoving and elbowing and causing a riot at a federal facility? Is that what oversight looks like?
Is incorrect.
These officials gave Congresswoman McIver and the other two lawmakers a 1-hour tour of the facility. So to then go from that to pressing charges seems hard to sustain.
It's pretty reasonable for them to do that after the way they acted, was it not?
It certainly does seem very reasonable.
Can I ask the mayor a question, actually? Were you invited? I think, did the U.S. attorney also, when they dropped the charges, you were invited to come and tour the facility, right?
She did put that in the...
Are you going to do it?
Of course.
Good.
Of course.
So here's the point. You got a tour for the members. He's been offered a tour. There's all sorts of accommodations being made here to people who didn't act right in the moment.
Well,
I'm just saying,
there's only one party here pressing charges, and it's the federal.
I like to point out that at least we're allowing Congress to go into these facilities. Do y'all remember how they wouldn't allow us to go into the facility to see what's going on under Joe Biden or even Barack Obama? They wouldn't allow us to go into the facilities. Remarkable. I remember Ted Cruz fighting for his life to get in there and see what was going on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But no, it's cool to just, assault police officers and go after them. It's completely fine. Here's Exhibit A, by the way, from Election Wizard. Breaking U.S. Justice Department charges sitting member of Congress, Representative McClever, for assaulting and interfering with police operations following brawl at ICE facilities. So I believe this was her. You see that? Touching the officer and pushing on him? Yeah, I mean, it's on camera. And they're, it's not bad. Oh, come on. Nobody's above the law is what I was told. Nobody's above the law, which is exactly what I was told. But no, it's fine to beat the crap out of police officers. Oh, it's okay if you're a Democrat. Yeah. No, it's completely fine. At least we didn't storm the Capitol and fight police officers on January 6th. Yeah, but the difference is that I don't think that's okay. I don't think the January 6th insurrection, if that's what you want to call it, was okay. You're advocating for people to assault police officers and to get away with it. See, they can never understand the difference. They just throw stuff out there and they shout stuff to the skies. On January 6th, you voted for Donald Trump. The world's going to end. So here's that report. Feds charge New Jersey Democrat over clash with agents at ICE facility, which we just got done talking about. Today, my office has charged Congresswoman, is it McCleaver, with violations of Title 18 U.S. Code Section 111A1 for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. Acting U.S. Attorney for District of New Jersey, Alina Abba. Oh, baby. She's a firecracker, isn't she? In response, McCleaver insisted the case has been tainted by politics. You're on video, so here we go. No. Of course we're going to watch the video again. Are you kidding me? What you want? What you want? What you gonna do? What you gonna come fight about you? Bad boys. What you gonna do? Like, Brad, shut up, play the video. All right. Mostly peaceful. Right there. Right. Oh, real. Oh, there you go. No. Did you see it? Did you guys see it? Let's go back. Luckily, she's wearing red. She's the giant blob on your screen. She's really hard to miss. Now, here she is. You're going to see her assaulting the police officer. It's on camera. This is okay. This is okay to do, according to Democrats. There she is, right here. Right there. Oh, boom. Boom. It's peaceful, mostly peaceful, you guys. What are you talking about? I see nothing wrong with this clip. I don't think anybody did anything wrong here other than I think the police did everything wrong. Every Democrat congressperson there, I think they did everything by the book. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing whatsoever. Completely clean. What do you mean? What do you mean? Here's another angle. There she is assaulting the police officer again. Another one. This is no different than, if you didn't want to get arrested, you should have never assaulted a police officer or put yourself in a situation of which you could be able to assault a police officer. Yeah. It's amazing. They're locking black people up because of their race. You know there's going to be racism pushing this. They locked me up because I'm black. No, they locked you up because you assaulted a police officer. And if you never assaulted a police officer, you probably would have never been locked up. You probably would have never been thrown in jail or anything like that. How about you don't put your hands on a police officer? How about you don't do that? You might be asking, Brad, is there another clip? That wasn't very good angles. I have the best angle for you guys coming up right here that shows her forcing her arm, this arm, which, by the way, does hurt sometimes depending on where you're getting somebody, because that's pure bone. It's not like it's muscle. It's squishy. When you get somebody with an elbow or bone, that's why I was going, Here we go. So I have the best angle for all of you. Now let's do it in good quality here. Elon, do not stop the video. She's right here, the red blob. Watch her place her forearm, a boom, assaulting a police officer. So now we have a third camera angle of all this. Damn it, Elon! Going back. There she is. There she was. See that? She's going boom. We didn't even see that other arm, by the way. In the other video clips, we did not see that other arm. So let's go in slow motion. I'm gonna go in there and eat. Okay, there's one push. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Yeah, did nothing wrong. Unbelievable. I was told again, nobody was above the law. Nobody's above the law. If I was to do something like that, probably something bad would happen to me, wouldn't it? But they're in Congress. They're supposed to be treated differently. They're above the rest of us. So we'll see. We'll see actually what happens with her on there. Let's so you saw the footage. The move is to ensure to escalate animosity between Democrats and Trump administration has already tense debate on illegal immigration deportations. So, yeah, lock her up. Throw her in the brig for a little bit. Throw her in the brig with everybody else that she helped arrest too. Let's see how they like her. Now, Chip Roy is in the mix here. We'll go over this relatively quickly. Chip Roy moves to repeal FACE Act after years of weaponization. The House Representatives will take steps towards repealing the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act this week, a law repeatedly weaponized against pro-life activists by President Joe Biden, which is a good move here by Chip Roy. He introduced it in January. The bill repeals provisions of federal criminal law that prohibit conduct intended to injure, intimidate, and interfere with persons who are seeking to, 1, obtain to provide a reproductive health service, or 2, exercise their right of religious freedom at a place of worship. Senator Mike Lee of Utah introduced the Senate version of the bill in January as well. The move comes after years of work with Roy and his team, who aggressively argued in favor of repealing the FACE Act, while the Biden Justice Department used the law to imprison pro-life activists after pro-life activists from 2022 to 2024, often pairing FACE with a felony conspiracy charge to lock peaceful protesters up. President Donald Trump pardoned these imprisoned activists earlier this year, and the left completely lost their mind over it. So this is a good move by Chip Roy, removing the things that the Democrats always weaponize, and it's always them weaponizing something against people. In the same way they wanted to go after your First Amendment rights, in the same way they wanted to go after your Second Amendment rights, they wanted to completely get rid of the fossil fuel industry by stealing your money and putting it towards climate change to change absolutely nothing. But the list goes on and on. Something that we don't have time to hash out here. But we will be back here later today, 6 a.m. What's going on with me today? My brain's not working correctly. I feel like Joe Biden. I've been talking about too much of Joe Biden. Now it's rubbing off on me. We are going to raid somebody right now, but we'll be back here later today at 4 p.m. for Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA is open up to everybody, so you can come join us. We'll be on X, YouTube, and Rumble. Everybody, it's open to everybody, so you don't need Rumble Premium to come today. Just come hang out with us this evening, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're not familiar with Dark MAGA, it is a whole nother level. And we go over long form footage. We go over different stuff. And, well, we would love for you to join us. The question is that who are we going to raid today? We got to find somebody here. And I usually like finding a smaller creator to where we can, help them out a little bit and kind of get them some views here. It's a problem that we always struggle with is there's no morning shows. We are the only morning show. So if you're not over at Rumble, you got to head over there so that we can help raid somebody's channel. And they get all excited over it, folks. It's really nice to see them. They get excited over us kind of crashing their show. We'll see. I don't know who Mike Crisp is. Raid the... Okay. All right, we'll go there. Pete. Oh, Santelli. All right, we'll go to Pete's show. I'll send you guys over to Pete. Hopefully he gives us a shout out. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you a little bit later today. Thank you very much, Patriots. Let's plug the show, baby. We're coming in hot. Take care.